Ho ho! Here we go once again. Welcome back, boys, girls, ladies, gents, whoever you are. We're doing it again. Um, I thought that I wouldn't be. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'm not even planning on taking a Disney vacation, but here we are. We're talking about them again. A lot of details. I'm going to try to keep this shorter than the last video where I talked exclusively about the Disney Vacation Club, which is essentially just a timeshare from Disney for one of their resorts. It depends on crap. Get out of here. It depends on what resort you choose and how often you want to stay every year. I've got some details here about a few different resorts. These four here, and I've got a mystery resort which we're going to look at, which, as you can see, is far cheaper. Um, and it is a fairly nice place. Hey, maybe you don't get quite. What am I doing here? Maybe you don't get quite everything that you get at Disney World. It is a just one bedroom villa. I can't say that it has a preferred view like these options here, but when you're spending all this money to go on vacation, you think you're getting something really special. Maybe you're not. Let's look into it. We're gonna kind of split this up into like three different sections. Try not to ramble as much as last time and go all over the place. Last time I was just looking into it for the first time, and I. Whew. So you want to go on vacation to? We're going to Disney World here. This isn't anything else besides Disney World. You have the option, if the room is available, to buy a room for. We're gonna go for. So here's our parameters here: family size, two adults, two children, 12 and 8 years old. Stay length 7 days, 6 nights. Taxes and fees not included in this. So I think it's something like 12.5%. I don't know if it's the same at Disney, but that's one of the values I saw. Uh, this assumes one vacation every 2 years, banking points to save money. So you're not the classic Disney crazed person that's going every year. You're trying to save a little bit of money. You're going once every 2 years. That's enough. You've got kids, whatever. Forget the fact that they're going to be adults before this contract is even close to over, and they may or may not have kids of their own. They may not give a crap about Disney anymore. Things can change. Not every kid wants to go to Disney World. It depends. This does not include extra costs like food or souvenirs. We will talk about food a little bit, just because I was taking a little look at that, and wow, uh, you probably have better options. So we'll get into this. But this is where we're starting here. We've got four resorts on Disney property. The last was a mystery resort. We'll talk about that. This is the Grand Floridian. I can't even talk now. Polynesian Villas, the Riviera, and Saratoga Springs. I tried to get something similar out of each of these. You're staying for a week. I could not find at the Grand Floridian. This one's pretty popular. Um, could not find a one bedroom villa anywhere, so I had to just go with the deluxe studio. Even at that, it's still pretty expensive. These are all preferred view. This one, I don't know anything about the views. You might have to look into that, but it's yeah, you're definitely gonna want to look into that if you're not trying to go to Disney every year and get into a lengthy contract and all that. So, biggest thing about the DVC, the Disney Vacation Club, the timeshares, you're getting a piece of deeded real estate in your name. You're paying annual dues. You're paying probably property taxes through that. The maintenance, upkeep. Disney's probably putting a lot of that in their pocket because they don't care. But here's the rooms here at the Grand Floridian. This is the deluxe studio, $4,800. You can imagine if you get a actual one bedroom villa, that could be significantly more. The rest of these are all one bedroom villas, almost the same start date. The same points either way. This falls into the same time frame. It's like June something to August something. So I just kind of went in the kind of middle of July. Um, let's see. Again, if you don't have the DVC, getting like one of these villas or one of these deluxe studios can be very difficult to find. You're not going to be able to book out that far. If you have the DVC, you can book out to 11 months at your home resort. We're just assuming this is your home resort. Um, Shit, my mom is calling me. Not right now, mom. She calls me at the worst times all the time. I know it's Mother's Day. I did say Happy Mother's Day to her earlier. I talked to her on the phone for a while. Uh, I just don't. Okay. Anyway, I just got to get back to this. I got to get back in the flow here. So the DVC with your home resort, which we're assuming this is when you get the contract, you will have up to 11 months out to book. Uh, and if it's not your home resort, if you go somewhere else, which is the flexible part of the DVC, you can book up to 7 months out, and that's pretty good. So all these I just went for July of this year. As you can see, keep moving this over. The Grand Floridian cash price. There you go, $4,806 for a week stay. I forget what the breakdown is, but $800 a night. Polynesian Villas, 1164 a night. Riviera, 1230 a night. That's pretty pricey. And then Saratoga Springs, about 760 a night. Uh, those are your final values right there. If you pay in cash, okay. This is the important thing. The cash price, of course, you're assuming that that's going to go up over time. That's the whole benefit of getting DVC. I'm not saying you should get it because it may go up at a certain time that you assume. They're going to give you a lot of information about how it's going to be so much more expensive in the future. Uh, you might be making a lot more money in the future. So, depending on your situation, this may be complete crap for you. You're spending a lot of money up front anyway. Let's talk about these contracts here. These vacations, again, we're going once every 2 years. So we're going to buy fewer points than we actually need, and then we're going to bank them for the next year. So first year, you're not going to be able to go on vacation. I'm going to bank those for next year. So you'll have 200 points to spend, 400 points to spend, 400 points to spend. That gives you a little flexibility just in case those points change because they can change. They have to it has to be the same total number of points at the resort, but they can reallocate them, so they could change one, two here or there. This one we're getting 300. You might be able to get, I don't know, 275 or whatever it comes out to. They're just kind of these are just rounded off numbers. Um, just to give you an idea of what you might be spending. And again, you could bank these. You could bank these for a year. You could borrow from up to 3 years out, but it that will limit how often you can go. So we're just planning on banking these for a year, using the 200 ish, and then banking them again for the next year. And so these are your dues per point. This is where the Disney contracts will really get you because you're spending. Here's your contract price, closing costs not included, usually under $1,000. You only pay that once, no big deal, whatever. This is what you're paying for the points, though. This is you're locking in your price for the resort, but the dues these can change. These won't change, right? These can change. We're also assuming you're not going to need financing because that will almost certainly wipe out any benefit you get from DVC. So if you can afford to pay this amount of money up front, you go to Disney once, twice a year, or once every 2 years, whatever it is. This might be a good option for you. I'm not recommending it. I would never do this myself. So, but yeah, that's what you're looking at. This is how long these Disney contracts started about 50 years from when the resort is first built. They will establish all the contracts for a certain number of rooms, and this is how long you have left in the contracts if you buy them now. So if you buy this one now, you got 38 years. You buy this one, Saratoga Springs, you only got 28 years on it. So you're spending more per year for the same vacation. And you'll see it may not work out well for you. Buying the Saratoga Springs stuff now is you're almost certainly getting screwed. So let's look at that. This is the total price once you factor in these dues per point every year. So 100 points, you're paying $831 every year just to the property. So that's not going to your vacation. That's just going to the property to cover whatever. And so over time, If you just buy this outright, no financing, for 30 or over 38 years of paying these dues every year, you're going to come out to $58,000. That is over twice what you paid for the actual contract. Here, it gets even worse because you've got a longer contract, slightly higher dues. Same with this one, same initial price. This is what you're paying for the actual room. This is what you're paying, sort of, think of it like HOA fees. 44 years at 946 per point per year, charged monthly. By the way, this is all based off 2026 pricing. This is what your total is going to end up being if and only if the annual dues do not change. And there's kind of this like people just kind of assume they're going to go up about 5% every year. That may vary. Is that going to be more than your actual inflation on your room price? Now, this is average lodging slash resort annual slash resort annual price inflation rate per year over the last 30 years. This is not just for Disney, this is for everything in general in the US. About 2.15% per year inflation compared to, I think it's like 2.5% per year over the last 30 years for just monetary inflation. So lodging doesn't go up as much as regular inflation most of the time. Although Disney, we all know they're predatory as hell. They're probably going up a lot more than that. They probably are going up like 4 to 5% every year in their pricing. I've seen it. I think it was like 2005, so just over 20 years ago. The rooms were like half to two-thirds to half the price of what you're paying now. So this might work for you if you love the whole Disney experience and actually go to the Disney resorts. That's cool. Whatever you want to do. It's not my money to waste. It's yours. You do what you want. This is kind of the important number, the DVC biannual vacation price. So every 2 years, not twice a year, but every 2 years, we're going to go on vacation, banking up our points, saving all that. You're going to be spending this. So if I don't know if you can see both of these values at the same time. No, you can't. So there's the cash price, 48, 7, 7, 45. This is what you're paying essentially every year. Well, this is over the course of 2 years for that sort of room if you have this for the life of the contract. So over 38 years, this is what you're going to be paying essentially per year based off this. And assuming the dues don't change, that's about what you're going to be paying for the actual vacation. I mean, that is less, right? Most of the time. So you can see right here, we have a problem at Saratoga Springs. If you get a new, the contract is new, but if you buy it directly from Disney right now, if they even have any left, you're looking at 4,500 bucks to just go on that one vacation. If you have the DVC, you're spending over $5,000 for that one vacation. Why? Well, you have a shorter contract length. So your value is just not there. You can see this is 10 years shorter than this one, and it's costing more because you're paying, and in fact, you're paying more dues as well, but, you're getting 150 points. But at the same rate, you're essentially paying more than the cash price at that point. If you're going to get you're going to buy a contract from Disney now, try to find something, around 40 plus years out. You can have issues when you go to resell those, but if you were to buy this new now on the resale market, this contract might not be a bad choice. You're going to be paying much less money per point, and that's going to give you more value for that vacation. Um, okay, so what what is this mystery resort? You can see right there. Actually, I just hold on. Let me Control Z and save. And yeah, this right here, Holiday Inn, club vacations or something like that at or Orange Lake Resort. I believe Orange Lake Resort. This is like a golf like thing. They have a bunch of golf courses there. They are, I think, open to the public anyway. But this is a Holiday Inn. I don't think you have to be like some kind of club member to go here. I didn't look that much into it. I could book it through. I usually am on like Booking.com if I'm going to book a place. I could book it through there. So I assume it's open to the public. If not, there are other options. This isn't the only option by far at Disney. This is about 4.5 miles away from the resort. This is its own resort. So you're paying $1,284 for a week. So that's like that's a quarter of the cheapest, well, the second cheapest we have here, right? And you wouldn't want to get this Saratoga Springs contract anyway, especially not directly from Disney. Excuse me. So this is kind of your cheapest option out of this bunch. Although this is a different room. This isn't a one bedroom villa. This is a studio room, so no bedroom. Um, Still sleeps four, I believe, but it's you're gonna have a smaller room and stuff. These are let's see. This is 160. What did I want to go to next? Oh, the Holiday Inn at Orange Lake. This is its own resort. This is over here. They have like four pools, a lazy river. All of this is included. You're not paying for like a water park or whatever or anything like that. Disney, of course, the hotels, I believe, have some pools and stuff. But if you're going to the actual parks, generally, you have to pay more for like water park access and that kind of thing. Um, Up to you. We'll talk about the passes at some point. Just we're not going to go through all the passes for sure, but we're just going to talk about the basic stuff. Again, they have golfing. They have a lot of stuff. Okay, at this place here, and it is a quarter of the price of standardish Disney vacation. Right, if you're paying in cash, it's also cheaper if you're on DVC. As you can see right here, it's much cheaper. So there is the one issue where you're not going to be on site. You're not going to be on the Disney property. You're going to have to rent a car, pay for parking. That's going to run you probably about 50 bucks a day, all total. 20 bucks to rent a car per day, 30 bucks for the Disney parking per day, the standard parking. You can pay more, I guess, to park closer. There is no free shuttle service from this place. Other places around there, other hotels, if you're just going to a regular hotel, they will actually have shuttle service, free shuttle service to Disney World and some other places. There are other places around here. Disney World is not the only place in Orlando or near Orlando that you can go to have a fun family vacation. So um, this they have, like I said, they have pools, they have a bunch of restaurants and like cafes and different stuff. Shopping, golf, uh, group travel, blah blah blah. They even have their own timeshare service, so you can actually, I think it's like saving like 50 or 70% on your stays if you get into your own timeshare service. I'm already saying don't buy DVC. DVC is going to be more flexible than a timeshare like this most of the time, where it's like one specific place at this hotel here or whatever. I don't Just try to stay away from timeshares unless you're really doing the research and really actually digging into it. That timeshare might be more worth it than this if you're going to Disney every year. Who knows? It's up to you. Uh, so let's talk about passes. Okay, so this is just to stay there. This is the kind of pricing you're looking at just to stay. Um, this isn't going on too long, under 20 minutes. So passes. What are we looking at for passes? If you go to Disney, you are going to, if you don't live in Florida, and you don't have DVC, you are going to be getting this pass here. If you get the annual pass, you don't have to get annual passes. We'll talk about that. But a lot of people, if they're going like more than once a year, they're going to get annual passes because it's just going to save them more money. They have 0% APR financing. I guess if you want to get into that, uh, so if you get DVC, you don't have to get the Incredipass. Pass. Florida residents and eligible DVC club members that has a footnote on it we may have to take a look at can get the Sorcerer Pass, which this is about 500 bucks cheaper than the Incredipass. Pass. What is that footnote? I'm kind of curious. There's water park editions, Disney Photo Pass downloads. Uh, what? Oh, eligibility to purchase this. DVC members must be eligible for membership extras, which means you have to have directly purchased it from Disney. Passes may only be purchased by eligible members for themselves and their immediate family living in their household up to a total of 8 years per year. So that kind of matters if you're renting out your points, you're lending points to friends, whatever, not living in your household. Annual pass offers are not part of the ownership interest and are an incidental benefit subject to availability, change, or termination. So basically saying just because you have DVC, you can come stay over here for vacation. Doesn't mean you can always get a pass. That you're probably going to be able to get a pass, but just consider that you may not be able to get a pass. That is not guaranteed if you're even if you're staying at a Disney resort. So, we talked about these about $500 less, and you can usually get that if you're a legit DVC member. You have other options. So those are the annual passes for the four people that I've selected in this sort of family example family. You're looking at just under $4,400 if you're on Disney. If you're getting the Sorcerer Pass, if you're not on the DVC thing, $6,500. But honestly, if you're only going once every 2 years, why get an annual pass? Doesn't make any sense. It just expires after your one vacation. Here's if you're just planning to go to Disney, here's a 6-day ticket. It's good for like a 10-day period from your starting date. You can go any 6 days out of those 10 days. That's pretty cool. You're saving roughly half. Well, little more than you're saving like I don't know, 35, 40%. Um, if you want to just go to Disney, right? That is an option. All right. So let's say you obviously Disney's a big attraction there, so they have multiple parks. You can use this to go to different parks each day. They have like the park hopper pass you can also purchase that lets you go to multiple parks per day. Honestly, if you've got young kids, you're probably not doing all that. That's a lot. So here's another option: 4-day ticket, even less. That's $900 cheaper. This is going to give you access to again one park per day at that price. Both of these one park per day. You do have the option for like the park hopper thing. Um, it's up to you. You could do 6 days there. Maybe you have a day when you first come that you don't necessarily want to go. Maybe you could not go on your last day when you're checking out. Up to you. That's I'm not planning your vacation for you. I'm just saying these are your options, some of your options. If you do get a 4-day ticket, maybe you want to go to Orlando and walk around the city for a while. It's a whole city there too. It's not just Disney World. Um, you can also go to SeaWorld, of course. This is an option. You can go to Gatorland, right? They have a bunch of alligators and stuff. Seems pretty cool. This is going to give you probably more, I think, more attractions. I'm not sure exactly what Gatorland is. I've never really heard of it, but I looked at it a little bit. It seems kind of neat. So there's your pricing there for four people. Adults and two adults, two kids, uh, $280, $120. So it's a thing. There are other attractions. There's also the Central Florida Zoo. It's probably around this pricing for four people. Um, there's Legoland, which is a little farther away. There's also Busch Gardens, which is a little farther away. If you want to go to something like that, maybe you pick a different hotel to stay at, whatever. I'm sure Busch Gardens has their own options, probably has their own timeshares at this point. Um, so here's your final. This is kind of your final thing, pricing wise, with your room. If you bought it cash or if you bought it with DVC, just considering what you're paying. This is whatever you're paying with it. Um, this is kind of like your 2-year amount that you paid. That's kind of how much you're paying for that one stay, plus your pass. That's gonna get you up to about there. So I think it was like $3,000, and the pass was like 4,000 some. So that's kind of where you are for the Grand Floridian. So cash total with an annual pass. This is what you're looking at. This option, of course, most of the money here is just the annual pass. Of course, we don't do DVC there. That is kind of your pricing there. And then if you get the cash total price with the 6-day ticket, there you are. That's significantly cheaper. DVC total with the 6-day ticket. And then cash total. So the 6-day ticket, I mean, you're getting 6 days at the park. The annual pass, if you're only going to use it one time every 2 years, it's kind of not worth it. So you can get a 6-day ticket. The Sorcerer Pass is $900. The 6-day ticket is going to cost you 1,800. So per or 1,800 in total. So you need four passes. That'd be what, $2,700 for the Sorcerer Pass. Significant savings there. So if you want to do this, is just an example: cash total with 4-day ticket to Disney and one day at SeaWorld, one day at Gatorland. This is what you're looking at: $3,500, significantly cheaper than even these prices here. Um, so yeah, you're not really saving a ton if you're going to these sorts of like Disney resorts. Now people are gonna say these are luxury resorts. You have all the character interaction, all this stuff, and a lot of that stuff. you may get a couple things included, but a lot of that stuff you're gonna have to pay extra for, depending on what you're trying to get. Um, the in-room celebrations, all that stuff. Everything's kind of gonna cost you a little bit of money. Disney is out to make a buck for sure. So, okay, one second, let me take a drink. Mm. Um, yeah, so this is just kind of a rundown. If you want to pause and look at some of these numbers, I'm not gonna post this anywhere. Honestly, it's not really worth it. This is pretty easy to look up, although doing it for 5 different places kind of took me a little bit of time. But it's all kind of similar. If you're getting DVC, really the biggest thing, crap, biggest thing to worry about is how much you're paying per point, how much of the dues, and how long do you have left in the contract? Because that 28-year contract, you buy it now, you're paying more than if you just use cash. Not worth it, right? You bought this, what is it, 32 years ago when they first opened the or I'm sorry, not 32, 22 years ago when they first opened up the contract. This was probably a decent deal, right? Well, it's kind of not anymore. So, um, it's definitely not. You're going to be paying more for that DVC thing now. With the DVC thing, buying it from Disney, you're going to have some benefits like being able to buy the Sorcerer Pass. Um, you're going to have some other membership extras and different things, some discounts on some food, souvenirs, whatever. Honestly, whether or not that's worth it, and those things can change too. So, if even if you buy direct from Disney, those membership extras can change. They Disney has changed a lot over the years. The Fast Pass, I think that thing went away. Now it's the Lightning Lane, which has tiered pricing and it costs quite a bit of money. It's like I think like 4 times the price of a 1 day ticket. That's crazy. So you're going to have to do some shopping around. This is not something you want to jump into. DVC is definitely not something you want to jump into just because somebody offers you a $50 membership credit or $50 stateroom credit or whatever. Um, you're going to want to actually shop around, do some research, look at other financing options. Again, if you finance this, it's going to knock down some of these benefits for sure. You're definitely not going to be able to get very good pricing compared to the cash price. Um, they're a little more flexible than a regular timeshare, but that also depends unless if you're getting a timeshare like some sort of like resort network versus like just one resort or something like that, blah blah blah. There's a lot of different details here. So that's your passes and your total pricing with the rooms. Let's talk about your food. I mean, I did say something wrong the other day that these places don't. If you're getting a villa, they're gonna have a kitchen. They're gonna have a microwave, stove, oven, a stovetop oven, refrigerator, all that normal kind of stuff, coffee maker, tea maker. They're going to have all that stuff. So that's all going to be in the room. The deluxe studio will not have a kitchen. It will have, I think, a microwave and possibly a refrigerator. It just kind of depends on where you go. You have to look up these amenities once again. But is it worth all this extra money just for a couple amenities where you can get that? This includes a kitchen, includes a washer and dryer, includes a lot of stuff. Well, I can take a look at that real quick just to show you like the amenities for this Holiday Inn place. Uh, this is it right here, Holiday Inn Club Vacations at Orange Lake Resort. Um, breakfast included. Okay, free breakfast. I think it's like a continental breakfast, whatever it is. Let's see. So this is the 1 bedroom villa. You get the entire villa, 600 square feet, private kitchen, private bathroom, balcony, nice, air conditioning, patio, patio? Isn't that part of like a balcony? Okay, but anyway, dishwasher, flat screen TV, coffee machine, free Wi-Fi, free toiletries, kitchen, safe, washing machine, toilet, sofa, bathtub or shower, towels, linens, sitting area, private entrance, refrigerator, telephone, iron, tea, coffee maker, ironing facility. I guess that means an ironing board or something. Microwave, heating, hair dryer, kitchen. You can see all this stuff. This is all cable channels, TV, all that, free Wi-Fi. It's got all the stuff you would probably expect from a Disney villa. Plus, you've got a nice pool. You've got 4 pools, a lazy river, all this other stuff. That's pretty cool, right? I think they have free parking as well, which is nice because you go somewhere and pay a bunch of money just for parking. Now you will have to pay if you rent a car. You're going to have to pay for parking at the Disney World, but that's not terrible compared to the other prices that you're paying, right? Even the DVC member prices over here. So again, $1,200 if you're paying a couple extra $100 for a car and parking. That's not that much money. It's like 15, 1,600 bucks plus your taxes. And all these things are gonna have taxes. So just trying to compare apples to apples. Um, let's see. So that's your Hilton Inn at the Orange Lake Resort. Seemed pretty cool. Let's look at the food because that's another thing. Oh, I gotta sit up for a second. Um, the food, I looked at a couple places. Apparently, I looked somehow I got to this ranked list, like the 25 best like restaurants, dining options at Disney, and I ended up with like a vegetarian option at number one. So they didn't actually have real food. They had like an impossible meatloaf, the impossible burger, impossible meat, whatever it is. Um, the vegetarian meat, or like lab grown meat, whatever the hell it is, right? Uh, kind of weird. Okay, it's, but these are a couple of places. This is Space 220. This is like the Epcot or whatever it is, the Space Mountain, whatever the hell it is, the little restaurant they have there. Casual dining. I think everything is pretty much casual. You're not gonna have to like dress up, as far as I know, for any of the dining there. Could be wrong on that. I don't know. So this you just with all these like Walt Disney like dining options, you're pretty much gonna pay one price for adults and for children. Children, by the way, keep in mind that goes from 3 to 9 years old. So if your kid isn't into starry calamari, or whatever, this is your appetizers, here's your entrees. If they're into this kind of food and they're like 10 or 11, 12 years old, they might get stuck with it. And you're going to be paying 79 bucks for them instead of like, I don't know, what's the child price? By the way, 22 bucks for 1.5 pounds baked whole lobster stuffed with jumbo crab. Honestly, that's not the worst price. Give them that for like a restaurant. 24-ounce bone in ribeye for 20 bucks. This is an add on, but still a 24-ounce bone in ribeye. Like, that's basically just a regular ribeye. If you get a boneless, they're usually what, like 10 or 14 ounces, whatever. Uh, that's a decent price. Coffee Space Rub? The hell? Um, yeah, I haven't looked at all this, but 35 bucks for child's pricing. And that is always, I believe, 3 to 9 years old. So you can pay 35 bucks to get, a Caesar salad and mini mission mac and cheese. um, yeah, wow. So that's your appetizer, I guess. But then a beef tenderloin. Is your 3 to 9 year old gonna eat a beef tenderloin? Salmon? Smash burger? Maybe. More mac and cheese? You get the mini mac and cheese, then you go move on to the big mac and cheese. Here's some. These are fried chicken tenders. That's probably more of an option. Space spaghetti might be an option. It depends on your kid. So your kid, you're gonna have to figure this out. The menus are all online, but the prices will vary, and it seems like they run anywhere from like I don't know 30 to like $90 per person for adults, and then the kids are usually somewhere between like a third and half that price. And their options are very much just basic rich kid meals, right? So, of course, you've got your spirits. This is where they're making a lot of money now. They didn't used to have all this alcohol. Now they do. Gamma burst. I think they mean gamma ray burst, but whatever. It's roughly the same thing. Doesn't matter. Uh, um, $10 for a Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra isn't bad, but Blue Moon only $11. This man, this is okay. Bud Light $9. There you go. Bud Light. Heineken Zero, $10. No alcohol. The lovely, lovely taste of Heineken. Corona, $10. All right, whatever. So this is just one place, okay? don't think this is the only place you can go. This is the Space 220. It's a little more expensive. I think dinner and lunch cost the same price. I think no lunch is well, yeah, lunch is $55. Yeah, dinner is 79. So sometimes they differ, sometimes they're the same. Uh, this is Cinderella's Royal Table. This is one of the more expensive places. It's also not necessarily the best place, but 88 bucks per adult plus tax and gratuity. Keep that in mind. So you could be paying over 100 bucks a person and $52 for kids. Um, and this is the adult meals. Crispy pork belly sounds good. Grilled filet mignon. That's a that no. Where's the ribeye? Where's the ribeye? Chicken roulade, roasted lamb chops. That doesn't sound too bad. Catch of the day. You won't know what it is until you get it. Pan roasted cauliflower. So here's a vegetarian option. You're still paying the same price. If you went to a normal restaurant, you would pay for what you're getting. It's not like one set price. So catch of the day would probably be a little more money because seafood's always kind of expensive. Grilled filet mignon's going to be a little expensive. This might be a little cheaper. Chicken's a little cheaper. Lamb chops, pan roasted cauliflower probably not going to be that expensive. It's cauliflower. It's pan roasted. Okay. There's a couple, fine dining type things down here. Quinoa salad, tomato jam, chimichurri sauce. Okay, sure. Then your kids over here again. We're looking at fruit and cheese options, sliced apples, like you're going to McDonald's. Uh, Getting a Happy Meal, garden salad, chicken strips, mac and cheese. That's probably gonna be pretty popular for kids. Seared fish of the day. Highly doubt it. Braised beef short rib with gravy. This is for 3 to 9 year olds. So pick your poison. Seasonal vegetables, mashed potatoes. This is you get to choose two. These are like sides for your kids. They're probably not. They might get veggies and mashed potatoes, rice, pilaf. No idea what that is. There you go. Kids menu items for children ages 9 and younger. So yeah. Desserts. I guess you get to choose a dessert anyway. I'm not really desserts, but this is sort of like a three-course meal type thing. Mm. Oh, well, that hits a little hard. Let's see here. Stepsister's flight. This is like flights of wine. I don't think they have flights of beer. They do have beer though. Again, if you're into beer, they have extremely classy beer. Kronenberg, Unibrow, Unibrow. That can't be right. Heineken Zero again for $10. Saison Dupont Belgian Farmhouse Ale. What the hell? Stella Artois, probably the more normal kind of beer that you'll see here. I wouldn't say normal, not everybody's drinking that, but it's decent beer, whatever. Uh, they do have allergy friendly options. Most of the places they're gonna have allergy friendly options. You do have to, let them know that you have an allergy, and the menu actually will give you what allergy it's for. So if you're trying to avoid these allergies, get the clock strikes 12 dessert, that kind of thing. You get it. Yeah, so that's your food options. Disney, they have a lot of food options. Are they overpriced? I guess it depends on what you order, honestly, because it's sort of a fixed price, and then depending on what you order, except for drinks, obviously, but your food kind of just a fixed price, and you can kind of finagle that a little bit for a little savings. Catch of the day, that's a probably good option. Grilled filet mignon, not really a filet mignon person, but if that's your thing, sure. Um, let's see. So going back to the Hilton Inn, they have a bunch of restaurants and not all fancy restaurants, but there is one. There's a steakhouse. What am I looking at here? Resort dining, the Stone and Current. So that's a sort of surf and turf type restaurant. Um, 4 to 10 p.m. Dress code required. Keep that in mind. Fine dining. Their menu. They have a lounge, I guess. So here's the menu. Uh, this is the kind of thing. I mean, if you're trying to save, you don't want to go to this every night, right? This isn't something you go to every night. This is maybe like once in your vacation, right? So starters, blue crab and artichoke dip. That sounds delicious. Uh, whatever kind of stuff you're gonna jumble up. Crab cake. Ooh, chili garlic mayo. That sounds pretty good. That's $32 though. So blue crab and artichoke dip. I can't talk. Artichoke dip might be your way to go. You can kind of split that too. I don't know if it comes with bread or I don't know whatever it comes with. Um, Soups and salads, $8. French onion soup. I bet they have a delicious French onion soup. Oh, lovely. Lobster bisque, $12. Not bad. There's a caprese salad, always nice. It's a little expensive for a caprese salad, but okay, sure. Um, Classic wedge. Oh, a wedge of romaine lettuce. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Uh, some of this is all bullshit. They have this at a bunch of fine dining places. Some of it's just bullshit. $22. You get a pan-seared Florida snapper. Cool. Fine dining accoutrements here. Um, Stone and current burger. So you're looking at a 10-ounce Wagyu burger. Probably not A5 Wagyu, but something like that. It's a bacon. That's like a glazed bacon. Think like millionaire bacon or whatever. Um, Fried egg, white cheddar, truffle parmesan, shoestring fries. Cool. Classic beef Wellington. There's your $40. That's kind of pricey, but hey, there you go. There's some lobster, $40. Um, and then you have your basic stuff here. You have the filet mignon, of course. Again, everybody just for some reason loves a filet mignon. It's whatever. They have your ribeye here, 14 ounces, $45. You got a porterhouse, stone and current tomahawk. Those things are expensive. 32 ounces, $175. Again, you're paying for what you're getting. This isn't like a set price. If you want to go and just get some artichoke dip, get a little something basic, and then get like maybe a Chilean sea bass here, pan-seared Chilean sea bass, $32, or maybe just Atlantic salmon, $15. That's pretty affordable. Blackened salmon, always good. You can vary how much you go. You could easily afford to go to this twice in your trip. If you're trying to save some money, you could end up twice here. Just get a cheaper meal. You're not spending the same amount every time and just getting whatever food seems the most expensive because you're just paying a flat rate anyway. Flavorings, truffle butter, lemon garlic, beurre blanc, beurre blanc, beurre blanc. Is that right? Beurre blanc. Yeah, $6. Okay. Sides. This is not really a kid spot. Again, the other places at Disney might not be a kid spot either, but you got some kids options. I mean, good luck. Depends on your kid, I guess. But yeah, there's a salmon Wellington for $30. It sounds pretty good. This seems pretty nice. This is a nice fine dining restaurant. You're not, wasting your time at Disney. Uh, it's up to you. Go back to your hotel. You can always, again, have got a full kitchen. You can buy stuff. You can do that with the Disney villas too. So don't think you can't. Um, but you do have that option here as well, and you can go out and buy some food from Walmart or wherever the hell you go, food shop, Whole Foods, whatever the hell, whatever's your thing. If you're going to Whole Foods, you're probably not worried about a cheap hotel anyways, so probably more likely Walmart. And no shame there. Nothing wrong with shopping at a Walmart supercenter. Uh, so yeah, that's your fine dining place on site at your hotel here, that your off Disney resort. Um, you've got some bar and grill. You've got a restaurant bar. You've also got Anchors. This is your quick bites burgers, chicken tenders. You got a cafe. You've got pool bars. Paisan Pizzeria. Does have an on-site pizzeria. Seems nice. BBQ Shack. Oh, always loves a BBQ. So yeah, you're not out of options if you don't stay on Disney. There's are plenty of options for. You're only staying there for a goddamn week. Like what? How many options do you really need? So don't waste your money. If you do, like, maybe get lunch at Disney at a sort of a cheaper place, and then come back and have dinner. Make dinner most of the time. Go to the steakhouse maybe once or twice in your stay, and you're going to be spending a lot less on food. Or you can eat lunch before you go to Disney, and then go and then spend your time at the park, then come out and go get some dinner or go make dinner. Um, yeah, this is they've got what golf here. They've got all kinds of stuff. Uh, They've got the pools. These pools, look at this. Splash Lagoon Pool, River Island Pool Complex, got a whole slide and everything. Your kids, I mean, especially if they're 12 and 8, they're not necessarily going to need a whole bunch of crap at Disney. They'll be look at this lazy river. Are you kidding me? Grab your tube, float along 1,200 feet. This is included with the stay. It's not like this is an extra thing. There's another pool. There's actually like a little beach. I think that's sand. You can go to the beach. They have cabanas you can rent. There's something you actually can rent out. So there are some extras you can definitely rent. Pay extra for. Disney, a lot of that stuff. They like to say that they have all these amenities, but a lot of these amenities are kind of going to be the same as this, Holiday Inn. But all the extra stuff that you think is going to be really cool with a memory that you're making, you're going to have to pay extra for, even if you have DVC. So especially if you got a resale. Your membership extras there are pretty much gone. You're very limited once you go resale. It's going to be cheaper, but it varies. I don't have the resale stuff in here. Resale, that's a whole other thing. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I'm already at 45 minutes now. So spent a lot of time talking about food, kind of drooling a little bit. Um, let's see what else we got. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. We talked about annual passes and some of the other tickets and stuff. The other options, your TVC options, that kind of thing. What do we got here? Renting a car, so they don't have shuttles at this place apparently, but you get a car rental, whatever. Then you can go anywhere. You don't just have to go to Disney. You can drive wherever you want to go. Again, you could go to what is it? SeaWorld for a day. That's always fun. You can go to Gatorland. Never been. Seems cool. Get pretty up close with gators. If your kids are going to be scared of that, maybe consider that. But again, you can go to Legoland. You can go to Busch Gardens if you want. To hold their theme park. Um, I guess Legoland is a theme park, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You go to the zoo, go to the city, and just walk around, buy some shit. Do what you want to do. You don't have to go to Disney World every day. And you can save a lot of money if you don't get like an annual pass or even like a 6 day ticket. If you're just getting the what is it here? Yeah, okay, the 4 day pass, 4 day ticket. It's going to be 900 bucks cheaper. With this is going to be sort of 40% the price of this or 60% the price of this, whatever. Uh, so yeah, you have to. This is going to vary. And again, these dues are, I say, assuming no increases, they're probably going to go up. Your contract years are going to go down every year you don't buy this. Not saying you should buy it, but if you're going to buy it as soon as you can for whatever resort you want to stay at, don't buy one for the Saratoga Springs because it's already worthless. You are paying more. Essentially, if you're using the contract, you're paying in this model here that I've got set up, you're paying more already for that vacation than you would be if you just paid cash. So get in early, otherwise you're screwed. Um, yeah, I I think that's about it. We got car rentals, all that stuff. Talked about food passes, your hotel, all that resort, whatever villa. Um, yeah. Got any questions? Throw them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I don't know everything about this Disney stuff. I really don't. I'm not much of a vacation person. But if I'm going on vacation, I am trying to spend as little money as I can because I don't want to pay someone a bunch of money just to relax. I want to. I just want to relax. I don't. Now I'm worried about bills and all this and to get DVC, I'm going to worry about annual dues now. Who the fuck wants to worry about annual dues when you're just trying to go on vacation like every so often? Ugh. Plus, going to Disneyland or Disney World every year for 50 years, that's kind of crazy. You do you. I think I have a funny thumbnail for this video, which I don't have it here, but I'll find it. Um, that I'm going to use, and yeah, it's again. I said this last time. Your mileage may vary. You have to look into what's best for you and your family. You may have a different family size, different idea of what a vacation is. Maybe you can afford to pay these prices up front. You know, you look at $4,000, $5,000, $7,000. You're like, that's that's nothing. I'll just pay that. maybe you get talked into this where you think you're getting a really good deal, and maybe you kind of are, maybe you kind of aren't. Uh, you know, do your research. It's your money. Spend it how you want to, but remember, people are going to try to take it all the time. Okay, so everybody you see on YouTube, they are going to be trying to. They're going to tell you straight up, you should get on this right away. I'm saying if you're definitely going to, first off, watch my videos, reconsider it, think about it. Maybe you don't want to, but if you're definitely going to, you're probably going to want to get into it right away because these contracts are losing value consistently over every year. Um, that's just the way it goes. Plus your annual dues, you're gonna have less annual dues to pay, but you're yeah, it all adds up, and it's yeah. So there's your thing. You can also rent. You don't have to buy like resale on the resale market. You can just rent a number of points per year. Disney hates that. They do not want you to have like a commercial timeshare operation underneath of them. If they find out that that's happening, it may affect your contract. They may, I don't know if they have like arbitration or if they just take it to court. They may have an arbitration clause in the Disney Vacation Club contract. I don't know. You'll have to figure that out. Uh, just play it safe because this is a lot of money over a long time, and it adds up quick. And Disney is going to try their damnedest to make their money off of it. They don't care if you're making money off of it or not. They're probably expecting you to lose money. As long as you come to Disney, don't forget that the contracts do not include your passes, so your passes are going to cost money. And yeah, it's all going to cost money, so much money. There you go. Yeah, think about it. Have fun. Go on a Disney vacation. I don't care. It's up to you. Whatever. But yeah, just do your research. Anyway, have a good one. Peace. Happy Mother's Day.